Hey guys, welcome to today's session. I just would like to check in the Discord if you can hear me and see my screen. For those of you who have been waiting on this session for the past week or two, you will know that I've been struggling with internet connection, but today I've finally got confirmation that my connection is back up to speed, back to where it should be. Perfect. Both Rob and Death from Above have said that they can hear me, which is phenomenal because Discord is where these streams have been struggled to be run over the past couple of weeks. So we're back in action today. We're starting back with a welcome session. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these. So I apologize for anybody who's kind of joined or come into the server over the past couple of weeks and hasn't had chance to attend one of these sessions live and ask any questions that you have. So as we go through this session, which generally doesn't take long, roughly 25-30 minutes, if you have any questions, please just pop them in the chat box on whatever platform you're watching it on, whether it's YouTube, Discord, X, or Instagram. And I'm always happy to stop and have a conversation and explain anything that we go over. Now, the main thing about today's session is it's a very bird's eye level view into Darwinex, who we are and what we do. I don't go over too many complex issues in this session. We kind of leave the more advanced concepts for the session on Thursday, which is where we take a look into value at risk, what a Darwin is, how it benefits traders, whereas today is who we are. Okay, and why everybody should trade with Darwinex Zero. So my name's Kieran, and I'm head of UK growth and business development at Darwinex and Darwinex Zero. And if you haven't heard of Darwinex before, or you don't know who we are a regulated asset manager and broker. We also have a licensed hedge fund. We are regulated by the FCA in the UK, by the CNMV in Spain, and also by the FSA in the Seychelles. We have over $100 million invested on our platform through our investor marketplace, and we currently have over 10,000 active strategies across both platforms, Darwinex and Zero. Our job as a company is to raise capital for traders and find the top trading talent worldwide. We need to find as many great traders as we possibly can, but equally on the flip side to that, we need to raise as much capital that we can, and it's a flywheel that will eventually run itself. The more capital we get, the more traders will come to us. The more traders that come to us, the more investment that we should be able to get. That is our only goal as a business. Now, you might be wondering, what is Darwinex Zero and how does that relate to Darwinex? So Darwinex Zero is the only place where a retail trader can become a professional asset manager with zero risk. Now, let me expand on why I say with zero risk. And that is because you don't have to risk any of your own capital to build a track record, to prove your worth as a trader, to network with investors. You don't have to do any of that because our infrastructure covers all of that for you. All you have to do is trade as well as you possibly can. That's all you have to do, nothing else. So on top of not having to put any capital at stake, other than your monthly subscription, which, let's say for argument's sake, is 38 euros minimum per month, you know that is your maximum downside. Whereas if you was trading with a personal part of capital, you know that one mistake, if you fat fingered the button, for example, you might lose more than you anticipated to on any given trade, which can be an issue. Not everybody sees that as an issue, but it's, your capital is at risk whenever you enter a trade. Through trading a virtual account with Darwinex Zero, there's no risk to your capital. There's no risk of you doing any extra work because, like I say, this is for retail traders who are, sat at home in their bedrooms like me, trading for themselves, and you don't have to go out and find investors, right? You don't have to build a hedge fund and pay licensing fees and get regulated and all this sort of stuff. So you don't have to take on any additional effort. Again, all you do is trade. You can develop as a trader using our advanced strategy insights. So I actually run a strategy development session every Wednesday at 4 p.m. However, this week we will have a special guest coming and doing that session for me. The guys at Edgewonk, who have been around for a long time, the industry leaders in trade journaling. they have offered to come out and do some sessions with you guys to make the most of your trading journals and your statistics and your metrics. They've been doing this for over a decade. And whilst I love doing these sessions, I think there's some additional value that these guys will bring. So I'm excited to run the first session this week and see how you guys like that. But we're always here trying to teach you how to make the most of the metrics that you get through trading with Darwinex Zero. And lastly, you get access to a community of like-minded traders. Okay, we don't have any Lambo boys in our community. We don't resonate with that message. We're here to build the next wave of asset managers. We're here for people who see this as a long-term career, even if it takes 2 to 5 years to get to the point where, you know, you're making significant amounts of money. We're not here to facilitate an overnight get-rich-quick scheme. And our community knows that. And the great thing is if you join our community, if you take part in the Discord, for example, where we have over 10,500 members, you get instant access to other great traders. No moon boys, exactly that, death from above. No moon boys. I like to say our Discord is kind of the first line of support. Right? If you ever have a question or a query, or you need to know something fast, the Discord is, you know, pretty much the best place that you can go and ask those questions. Of course, we have email support. Of course, we have our knowledge base. But if you're in the Discord and you're chatting to guys anyway, by the time you'll have found your answer in the knowledge base, generally someone will have replied and given you an answer to your query. So it's just a great place to be involved. Now, this is a graphic just to show the exact process of what happens when you trade with Darwinex. So you sign up, you get a trading account, which you can choose between MT4 or MT5 or interactive brokers if you're trading through Darwinex as well for futures trading. The risk engine then takes your trades. So every trade that you take gets processed through our proprietary risk engine. It then copies that trade across to your Darwin along with the risk engine's risk management, which is really important. Your Darwin acts as an index, akin to how the S&P 500 acts as an index for the top 500 companies in the US. Your Darwin acts as an index for all of your trades, plus the risk engine's risk management. Now, again, I won't go into too much detail about the risk engine today because that's Thursday's session. However, the risk engine will adjust your trade size at Darwin level so that it matches the volatility of the S&P 500. Again, I will go into much more detail on Thursday about that. So if you're a little bit confused of what that means or what I'm talking about, I highly recommend either watching one of our past Thursday sessions, which are called our Darwin explanation sessions or your understanding your Darwin sessions, or attend this week's at Thursday at 4 p.m. UK time and come and ask any questions that you may have. When your Darwin is in a trade, that's where all your AUM is held. It's where all your invested capital is held, and that's where the investment goes. So any trades on your Darwin will go to the capital that you get from the index, capital you get from the investors, any DarwinIA allocations you have, any permanent allocations you have, or any boosters that you have. It's important to note that any return and drawdown for that AUM is at Darwin level, so post-risk adjustment, and not what you see on your MetaTrader. Now, the roadmap to becoming a professional asset manager with Darwinex Zero. I generally spend too long over explaining this, so I'm going to try and simplify it today and keep it, short and simple. When you sign up to Darwinex Zero, you initially enroll in the calibration phase. Now, this isn't a pass or fail assessment, unlike what you may have been used to previously before coming to Darwinex. This is just a short period of time, minimum 3 weeks. So we usually say it's a 3-week period, but if you adjust your risk size, it can take longer. But it's a 3-week period where our proprietary risk engine watches how you trade, understands your behavior, understands your average exposure, and understands how to adjust your risk moving forward. So remember, the risk engine has a benchmark of 6.5% value at risk, which again is the volatility of the S&P 500. That is the target that the risk engine will be changing your strategy to, or at least your strategy's risk to. So that period is where the risk engine goes, okay, how do I get this trader from their current risk level to the risk level of the S&P. And that's why we take roughly 3 weeks, because we want to understand day in, day out, week in, week out, what is this trader doing? Once you migrate out of the calibration phase, which again isn't a pass or fail assessment, so you don't fail this assessment or this phase, you then get enrolled in the DarwinIA program, which seems a bit twisted because I have them on the wrong steps of the ladder here. But you get enrolled into DarwinIA Silver first, which is the first tier of the DarwinIA program. Every trader on the platform competes in DarwinIA, and it's ran as a monthly competition between all of these traders. It's a leaderboard style competition, and you get a rating. Your rating is determined by your current month's return, your previous 5 months return, and your previous 6 months drawdown. So overall, just a 6-month snapshot of your performance. Based on that, we calculate a rating out of 100. Any trader that has a rating of 75 or above will get an allocation in that month of DarwinIA. Alongside this, you can get a permanent allocation, which is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's 100,000 euros allocation that stays in your account permanently. So as soon as you've activated it, it will be active straight away. We do have some growth target options as well on that, which I'll go over momentarily in another slide. But back to DarwinIA Silver, because I skipped the actual allocations. Like I say, I've had 2 weeks off from doing these streams. I've completely forgot the platform. So in DarwinIA Silver, the allocations monthly range from 30,000 euros to 375,000 euros for the number 1 spot. And these allocations last for 3 months. They are cumulative, so they will stack up month on month. Now, what that means is if I get 30K 3 months in a row, in the 3rd month, I'll be trading in 90,000 euros. Now, let's say in the 4th month, I gain 30,000 euros allocation again. Going into that 4th month, the first allocation will drop off because I've had it for 3 months, but then the new allocation will come on. So my AUM will stay at 90,000 euros. When you hit some performance milestones, so for example, a 20% return, 8-month-long track record, and a return to drawdown ratio of 2.5, you then get promoted to DarwinIA Gold. Now, this is where the elite of the elite are getting reports of poor sound. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. How's this? Is this any better? Can you not hear me now? How about now, guys? If anybody's watching on YouTube, could somebody comment whether you can hear? Perfect. So YouTube can hear me fine. It's just Discord. Yeah, again, this Discord is pesky, man. How about now? Any luck on Discord? It says I'm speaking, but whether it's coming through or not, I don't know. Let me try and leave and then join the session again. How about now, guys? Can you hear me? Okay, looks like it's still having an issue. There we go. For some reason, it had kicked my microphone off off YouTube. Honestly, I thought this was all sorted. As soon as internet issues are sorted, and now I get audio issues. I don't know how much was cut off there. But we have investors and prop. So we have the investor marketplace once you're open on DarwinIA Gold, and we have the prop desk Darwinex Labs. This is where we allocate smaller amounts of capital to promising traders to test how they act with this AUM before we allocate them in the Darwinex hedge fund, the index, which is the last rung on the ladder. Still getting audio issues on YouTube. Everything looks fine. It's saying that my mic check's working. I'm unmuted. Let me check. Let me listen. I'll open it up on YouTube just to make sure. Because the last thing I want is to be doing. The audio is working for me, so I wonder if it's I don't know. The stream seems to be working correctly though. And the last rung on the ladder, we will get through this this slide eventually. The last rung on the ladder is the Darwinex hedge fund, which is the INDX or the index, which currently has just over $2 million in AUM. This is our portfolio of Darwins, where our top 1% of traders, which is roughly 100 to 150 traders, are in the index from Darwinex, which means that any capital that we raise through the index, which, like I say, is currently sat at just over 2 million, gets spread out to all of those traders. Oh, getting more and more audio issues. I don't know what to do. Can you guys hear me on Discord still? This is strange. So Tom on Discord can hear me. Danny Gel on YouTube can hear me. But Chris and Donald can't hear me. It's strange. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to carry on anyway, and hopefully in the recording I'll check back, and hopefully when you guys listen, like you can listen back to the recording, and hopefully it'll be working there. Perfect. Chris says that it's working now. Don't know what's going on. I apologize profusely. This is technology for you, right? You know, for as great as it is, it doesn't always work. So just to recap some of the steps on the roadmap is the calibration phase. Trader signs up, takes approximately 3 trading weeks to complete. And once they migrate from the calibration phase, after they've completed it, their Darwin is then eligible for allocations, depending on your rating. DarwinIA Silver and DarwinIA Gold, 2 different levels of the same leaderboard competition. It is run monthly, and it is in addition to permanent allocations. The DarwinIA Silver rating is based on the following 3 things: your current month's return, your previous 5 months return, and your previous 6 months max drawdown. It's important to note in DarwinIA Gold, there is no rating. You are judged based on your current month's return. So the leaderboard is run, whoever returns the most percent this month, down to whoever returns the least percent return in that given month. And whoever's top will get the highest allocation of 500,000 euros, and then it will stagger down. Permanent allocations, so completely optional. A trader will activate the add-on, and you can choose whether to activate it instantly or whether to choose a growth target. And then that 100,000 euros is allocated permanently. And here you can see the different options. So the 0% is the instant allocation option. And then we have the 5, 10, 15, and 20% option. What that means is once you've activated it, if you choose the 5, 10, 15, or 20% growth target option, you will have to make 5, 10, 15, or 20% return before the 100,000 euro gets live. Whereas with the 0% instant allocation option, as soon as you've completed the transaction, it will be live, and your very next trade, you can be earning performance fees on that allocation. An interesting thing that not many people know is that we allow our traders to migrate from Darwinex Zero across to Darwinex at any time. Okay. The reason that you might want to do this is if you're pretty confident as a trader and you're unbothered whether you're trading a virtual account or a live account, but you just don't want to pay a monthly subscription. Absolutely fine. What we can do is migrate you from Darwinex Zero. If you open a live account with Darwinex, and we can migrate your track record across from the Darwinex Zero account to your new live account, so that even though you're trading a different Signal account, the history is there and you don't lose your track record. There is really no difference between the two. The only difference is how you pay for access to the service. So again, with Darwinex Zero, you're paying a monthly subscription to access a virtual account. You get all the same benefits. Whereas with Darwinex, you don't pay a monthly subscription because you pay broker commissions, same as you would with any broker. Okay, so we don't charge a monthly subscription with that. However, we can't tell you or ask you to create an account because, of course, that would involve you opening a live account and depositing your real capital into it. It is of no bias to us. We are unbothered as long as traders are verifying their track record. That's all we really care about. Again, a huge underrated part of what we offer is the trading statistics and the insights into your strategy that we provide. Again, I do weekly sessions on this where we deep dive into all of the statistics that we offer as a platform and show you how to use them to make data-driven decisions on improving your strategy, or trying to find any low-hanging fruits for you to either cut loose or to really grab any opportunities that you possibly can. Don said, I have my volume at max and still can barely hear you. That's strange, that is. Is there any financial benefit to doing well on a valuation stage? I presume you mean the calibration phase. I was up 30% last week, dropped a bit now. There's no financial benefit, right? Because you don't have allocation at that point. You have to have an active allocation to be earning performance fees. All I'll say is you don't need to flip your account. So 30% in a week is huge. You don't have to be generating any sort of return like that. You know, you can excel with 1 to 5% per month. It doesn't have to be crazy. So just take it slow and take it steady, because your Darwin is going to be risk adjusted anyway. So the returns and the drawdowns that you see on your MetaTrader aren't going to be the same as what you see on your Darwin. Because if you're operating at a 60% value at risk, which is 10 times the risk that we operate at Darwin level, you are going to see a reduction in your trade size and therefore performance and drawdown. However, if you're operating at a 0.6% value at risk, you're going to see a 10x increase of your performance. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Perfect timing. The next slide. I always forget that I put this slide in because I think it's valuable, even though we don't talk too much today about value at risk. So this is a chart that you get on your dashboard, which shows your value at risk, and it's an organic chart that updates over time. So as your trading behavior changes and develops and grows, so does your value at risk chart. Now, you can see what we've done here is we put a big fat white line saying 6.5%, so you can understand the target of where we're trying to adjust your risk to. Now, when this trader starts on this chart, you can see they're probably double the 6.5%. So it looks like they're operating about 13%. At this point, you can see there's arrows pointing down. The risk engine is going to be tuning their size down at Darwin level. So at 13%, their risk multiplier is pretty much going to be 0.5x, meaning for every one lot that they trade on Signal account, their Darwin will likely be taking roughly 0.5 lots. As it comes down, that risk multiplier is going to increase until it gets to 6.5%, and it's going to be pretty much 1-to-1, so a 1x risk multiplier. So what you see on your Signal account, you're pretty much going to see on your Darwin. If you're in a 10-lot trade, you'll be in a 10-lot trade. As the VIR goes beneath 6.5%, actually what the risk engine is then going to be doing is scaling the trader size up at Darwin level. Okay. So as the trader approaches 3.25% value at risk, their risk multiplier is going to be at 2x. Because again, remember, it's targeting 6.5%. So it's going to take the trader's behavior and the trader's positions at 3.25%. And it's going to go, how do I get 3.25% to 6.5%? I double it. And therefore it's going to double the position sizing. So I'm going to just apologize for the audio issues that we've had on both YouTube and Discord. It's made it a nightmare, and it's made the session a little bit bumpier than it usually is. So I do apologize for that. But I know we've got quite a few people watching, so I'd just like to give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have before we call it an end to this disastrous session. I don't know why my mic's not been working. I mean, my internet is sorted, so the issue that I had last week where I couldn't even get on and stream, that has been sorted, but I'm not sure as to why there's audio issues. That's super frustrating for me. However, if you've missed things or missed part of the session because of the audio issues, this will be uploaded and saved on our YouTube channel or on our X account, so you can go back and watch it in case the audio wasn't working for you at certain periods of time. So please don't fret, you won't have missed anything. Sachin Kumar, can you please elaborate on boosters? I will in a couple of weeks' time. We'll do a proper session on boosters in the next couple of weeks where we'll schedule it, and I'll bring some proper documentation and a proper presentation on boosters. However, as kind of an overview, a boosters act similarly to a permanent allocation, where it's an optional alternative to get another form of allocation. It's basically like pre-purchasing or renting even a DarwinIA allocation. The great thing is you can choose your balance, and you can choose your or amount, and you can choose the time period of how long you want to rent your booster for. Like I say, it's completely optional. You don't have to. There's no pressure to have a booster, but it was something that we were requested for so long. So the official push for boosters will go out in a couple of weeks' time, just because a load of our marketing team are off for summer holidays at the moment. And so what we want to do is hit the ground running when the whole team's back together and we can really get some good quality content out to you guys. So perfect. I'm going to call it a session here, guys. If there's any follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can either message us on one of our social media channels, or the best way to get in touch will be to join the Discord and message me personally on there. You'll see my name. I'm in the right-hand side under Darwinex Zero team. I've got an orange tick and an orange name. It says Kieran Darwinex. Feel free to DM me, and if I don't respond within a few hours, just ping me in the chat, because sometimes it goes into my message requests and they can get quite clogged up. But I'm always happy to have a chat, always happy to jump on a call and discuss any sort of questions or queries that you guys may have. But without further ado, I will leave you all to enjoy your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, wherever you are in the world. So have a fantastic rest of your day, guys, and I will catch you in the next session. Peace out.